Imagine a day when you no longer have stress. Imagine a day without problems. Imagine a day when you no longer have to think about your purpose in life. Imagine a day when you are content with yourself. Imagine a day that you wake up in the morning and you're just happy to be alive and you're ready to take on the day. That day, unfortunately for some, might never come. And if I'm being truly honest with myself, at some point in my life I thought this day will never come for me either. But then something magical happened. I discovered freediving. And freediving gave me a space, a way to relax my mind, let go of my tension, and it gave me the ability to separate the clutter from what is truly important. I started freediving when I was 40, I'm 48 now. And when I look back at my life, everything I did between, let's say, 20 and 40, should I call it school? Should I call it a lesson of life? I've lost a lot of time doing stuff that didn't matter at all. And it is through freediving that I have learned to see what I truly value in life, what is important for me. And when you know what is important and what is not important, it's so much more easy to make the right decisions. Freediving has literally given back my life. If you're new to this channel, my name is Gert Leroy. I'm a freediving instructor, a former national record holder, and through these videos about freediving, I want you to learn about breath holding and being underwater so you can find peace in every breath, just like I found peace when I became a freediver. So how has freediving changed my life and how can it change your life? First of all, you learn to be in the moment. There is no way that you can become a good freediver, a decent freediver, if your mind is everywhere, if you're thinking about this and that and that and that. It's impossible. So the art of freediving kind of forces you to be in the moment. You could call this mindfulness. I like to call it just being in the moment. When you are underwater, there's only one thing important, and that is holding your breath. You are surrounded by the big blue, you're holding your breath, and you don't have time nor energy to think about anything else. If you do think about something else, then it will consume oxygen, and you need that oxygen to hold your breath longer. So anything that you do that compromises a long breath hold, you automatically have to stop doing. You have no other choice. You have no other choice underwater than to be in that moment, to be in the zone so you can hold your breath longer. Imagine you're getting those feelings that aren't so pleasant while you're diving. How are you going to deal with this? You can't really tell yourself feelings go away. That won't happen. So what if you understand that feelings aren't exactly real? That's a difficult one, I know. So what are feelings? Feelings are chemical reactions. It's just something chemical that is going on in your brain. So if you know that that is what it is, it's nothing real. So you don't have to react to those feelings. When you become emotional, it's a reaction of what you're feeling. But if you know that what you're feeling is just a chemical reaction, then you know it doesn't mean anything. So you can just let those feelings happen and not react to it. Through freediving, I've also learned to create more mental resilience. If you look at it, breath holding is a metaphor for life. Breath holding is a little uncomfortable at the end if you hold your breath longer, but what does that mean, being uncomfortable? Isn't it just you deciding what is uncomfortable? I mean, you might get slapped in the face, and for someone this might be extremely uncomfortable, but for someone else this might be, okay, let's move on. So eventually we decide what is uncomfortable. So when people say, yeah, my breath hold is uncomfortable, it's again a reaction to what they are feeling inside. So if you learn to become comfortable with the uncomfortable, that is a big lesson for life. When you freedive, when you hold your breath and you go down underwater, you have to be honest with yourself. We see students, we instructors see students coming up from a dive, surfacing, and we ask them, how was your dive? How did you feel? And we already know the answer, of course, because we've done this many times with students, so we can read body language, we know what's going on, but we still ask our students, how was it? And then we can see that they're not being totally honest, which is fine, you're just learning the skill of freediving, and freediving is all a mental game, and it also teaches you a lot about yourself. So if you make these mistakes in the beginning of not being truly honest, that's okay. But we know, as instructors, we can read you. So the only way to learn about yourself and become a better freediver, or vice versa, is to be 1000% honest with yourself. If you come up from a dive and it didn't feel the way you wanted it to feel, it's because, something didn't go the way you wanted it to go. And you have to assess that. You have to be honest with yourself and tell your instructor and tell yourself, this is what happened. And most of the time what happened is that you became scared. You experienced a certain level of anxiety. Some people have a problem with admitting that. As an instructor, we can see this. There are so many signs that we can spot anxiety. If you want to become a freediver and learn, then you have to become honest with yourself. And this requires a lot of courage. And by being honest and by assessing what is truly going on inside of you, you will create the opportunity to fix it, to create that mental resilience, and to eventually become comfortable with the uncomfortable. So it's not uncomfortable anymore. Does that make sense? And once you've done a couple of sessions, you've finished your beginner's course, you already know that freediving is just about that, the mental game. And then you really start falling in love with freediving, because you know it's not about how long can I hold my breath and how deep can I dive. No. It's about this. It's about mastering your mind. And once you're there, it becomes an addiction. And then freediving becomes your direction, because you know there is so much potential, there is so much to discover there. For your whole entire life, you've basically never paid attention to how you feel inside and how you can control this. And now you have been given a tool called freediving that shows you, that teaches you on how to control your mind. And that is the reason why people fall in love with freediving. And once they do this beginner's course, they're most likely going to do a follow-up course and an advanced course. And then they become instructors, and then they become freediving athletes, and then they become national record holders. It's crazy. The journey you jump onto, the journey you embark as a freediver is absolutely wonderful. And it gives people direction. So if you are someone like I was before that was struggling with finding direction, then freediving can give you that direction. It is wonderful to concentrate on one thing in your life. If that is just freediving, you will concentrate on mastering the skills of holding your breath longer. I mean, let's be honest. Who knows how to hold a breath? How many people in this world know how to hold a breath? And how many people know how to hold a breath and combine this with diving underwater? If you can master that skill, that is something unique, that is something beautiful. So freediving gives you something to work on. It again enables you to let go of everything that is not important and just focus on one thing and become good at it. And that is why people like to call themselves freedivers, and they like to get freediving certifications, because it's an affirmation of their identity as a freediver. Before freediving, you didn't really know who you were, and now you can call yourself a freediver. So you know who you are. When people ask you, what do you do in life? Who are you? You can now just simply answer that question with, I'm a freediver. And once you fall in love with freediving, you want to do it more and more, of course. And then you're going to have to organize your life in such a way that you can freedive a lot. Because if you live in the city, I mean, where can you freedive? You might be able to go to a swimming pool, but then you can only do laps underwater, like 1 meter underwater. But the real fun about freediving is going vertically, of course. So you need, either a deep swimming pool or the ocean. So if you want to freedive a lot, you need to live close to an ocean. Like I spend a lot of time in the Philippines, in Thailand, where I am close to water, where I can do deep diving. So you need to reorganize your life. And to be able to do this, you have to basically give up on the life you had before. Now, if you're being truly honest with yourself, isn't that what you want? Because you weren't really happy in your life before. You weren't really happy with the rat race, the 9 to 5, or the 9 to 6, or the 9 to 7. You were working too much. and you were asking yourself, I mean, I don't have a problem with working a lot, but where is this all leading to? What's the point of this? So now freediving enables you, gives you an excuse to just start all over again, to let go of that former life and go live somewhere else, restructure your life, build your life around freediving. You will meet new people, you will meet like-minded people, you will meet people who do the same. We can call them expats, we can call them digital nomads. Maybe you will find a job online so you can travel. This whole freediving community travels, works online. It's different. It's a different lifestyle than just living in one city and doing the same thing every day. And of course, as a freediver, you learn to connect with the water. You have to, right? I mean, you are in the water, and the water is the medium that surrounds you. You're going to hold your breath in that water. So you're going to learn to create a certain relationship with water. When I was a child, I was a swimmer. I swam a lot. I think I went like 2 or 3 times per week to the swimming classes. And then I kind of gave up on swimming and I started doing other stuff. And now, when I became a freediver 8 years ago, that was my chance to reconnect with the water. Being in the water has something magical. There is a book called Blue Mind, written by Wallace G. Nichols. And that is exactly about that, the connection with water. So I highly recommend you to read that book. Being in the water makes people find peace, even if you're not holding your breath. You can do other sports in the water like surfing, which creates also that relationship with the water. It's remarkable and amazing that people just simply calm down when they're in or near water. And as you create that connection with water, you're also going to learn about the underwater life, marine life, aquatic mammals, because not all creatures that live in the water are fish. Fish have gills, and aquatic mammals, they don't. They actually breathe. So animals like turtles or whales or dolphins, they have to come up and breathe. So in freediving, you will learn about the mammalian diving reflex, which is a reflex that we humans also have. But of course, it's more developed in whales and dolphins and turtles. And that's why they can hold their breath for so long and stay underwater. But we humans, we also have this. And through the art of freediving, breath holding, we can stimulate this mammalian diving reflex. So we can go back to our ancestors, the aquatic mammals, and also learn to hold that breath longer and stay longer underwater. Absolutely fantastic. You will learn about underwater currents. You will see sunken shipwrecks, maybe sunken airplanes. You will learn about the difference between salt water and fresh water. In salt water, you don't sink as fast as in fresh water. So if you would go to a deep swimming pool, like for instance in Brussels, I come from Belgium, we have Nemo 33, you will see that without a wetsuit and without weights, you will sink faster than if you would go to the ocean without a wetsuit and without weights. It's the salt of the water that's actually keeping you a bit up. So you will learn about marine life and ocean life, and it will just make your life so much more interesting. And last but not least, and this is without any doubt the most important thing that you will learn in freediving, is to create a connection with the people that you are diving with. Because of this one simple reason, you are responsible for their life. Never freedive alone, always freedive with a buddy who is able to rescue you in case something goes wrong. That is the number one rule in freediving. So when you dive with another person or with 2 other people, you know that your life, your well-being is in the hands of those people. So you have to fully trust those people, and those people also have to trust themselves. They have to be skilled, knowing that they can rescue you in case you would lose consciousness underwater. This almost never happens, but it can happen. When you hold your breath underwater, one of the dangers is blackout. If you black out and there's no one to save you, it's game over. So when you dive with someone, you are deciding that this person is capable of saving you. If you don't trust in the capabilities of this person to rescue you and bring you back to the surface, then you're simply not going to dive with this person. So beginners always have to dive with a person who is more advanced. And if you're both advanced divers, then you trust each other because you've been through all these safety protocols. So I have never experienced this in my life, in my entire life, that I had to trust on the capabilities of another person to keep me alive in case something went wrong. So that is a huge connection. It's a special feeling to do something of which you know if you do it alone and you black out, you will die. But if you do it with a buddy and you black out, you will just be saved and everything will be fine. So there's a very thin line between being alive or not being alive, and that is the person that is with you. Peace in every breath.